Today is Wednesday, May 29th, 2014. As you can see here, 529. Did I say 2014? 5 years ago? Sorry, 2019. May 29th, 2019, and look what time my purchase was at today. Didn't plan it this way. 952, which is anagrammatic with 529. 9 plus 5, 14 plus 2, 16. 7, 529. 5 and 2, 7, 9, 16. 7. 1 and 6. 7, 7. Which is the number value of Christ. C is 3. A, B, C. C with the third I, the 3 of the tree of 3 o'clock. 1, 2, 3. H is 8. R is 18. I is 9. S is 19. And T is 20. That adds to 77. And then look at my total. 5, 5, 6. 5 and 5, 10 and 6, 16. 1 and 6, 7. So it's 777. Which is what? 21. Which is what? 3. Which is the tree. And I have one cash register synchronicity from yesterday to share with you. I only reprinted one. Made a little compromise, or whatever you want to call it. Whatever word that really doesn't quite get at whatever the heck is going on. Because it's just a word. Word-controlled humans, they overestimate words. And underestimate them at the same time. 4:28 p.m. because words are spells, they're magic. Spelling. Bees, Bethel's, House of God. The alphabet is the Aleph Beth, and we're taught that in a totally inappropriate way. Memorization through the song, and then they send you on to read, print, and they start programming you to be obedient to the society and the system of the society, instead of obedient to your own core and finding your own moral compass and your own center to act from. They drill you and they turn you into a repeater by programming you with tests and quizzes to memorize and regurgitate.
That was Archie Shep meets Kahil.
2848 total. 284888 HH at 428 H. This was yesterday. 528 H. 28 28 28. 2 8s. And the change 48. 8, of course, symbolic of infinity, the infinite, when you turn it horizontally. And the 8th letter is H, and they're almost the same phonetically, just like I in 9. Number 9 is I, the eye of the sun, of the day's eye, in the sky. Daisy, Daisy. Remember Hal 9000? With the song he's singing at the end when he's being shut down, the A-I. Well, he's singing Daisy, which is the day's eye, the sun, the eye in the sky. Truncated pyramid, this light at the top of the eye, that the eye is in the triangle, is truncated, detached from the rest of the pyramid, the bricks. It's free. It's not stuck in place. It's consciousness liberated from the shackles of the body, the soul liberated from the body. Freedom of the eye, the single eye of consciousness. You'll notice I'm wearing this today because it's like barely 50 degrees at the end of May. With this geoengineering ongoing weather experimentation, live action as the biosphere is imploding. And people's third eyes within themselves in the little pineal gland. You notice it's all green with all this vegetation symbolism. It's the pineal gland's little pine cone in the midbrain. Look at a cross-section of the brain online. Just type in cross-section of the midbrain and the Eye of Horus, and you'll see that eye is right there in the center of the brain. And brain has Re or Ra, which is his name, as the second 2 letters. Like cerebrum, the Latin, which is same as cherubim, the angels of the angles, of the A, of the Aleph, the Father, of the phallus, of the tree, of the poles, of the vertic L, that which goes up and seeds all life, all the semantics of the seminars of the seminaries, of the seamen, the seeds of men, the see the door, see the light, see the life, see the one, God. This here is a substitute. This bill, which is a bull, a seal, a document with the owl of L here, is a substitute, a shitty paper, papal bullshit substitute for the real God, which is not material, not physical, beyond an intelligible sphere whose centers everywhere, but whose outer edge or circumference, circular reference is nowhere. The transcendental mystery beyond all man's categories of thought is what God actually is. And the religions are concealing that from you regularly. Today, of course, is my birthday. My birthday? No, it's my temporary temple's birthday. Because I am the soul, I am the light of this world, one with the Father, never born, never dying, ever. And as we were learning by reading this white book by Ramtha, the teaching of the Ram, of the Sri High Ram, guess what? You don't have to die physically either. Your body dies because you believe it will die, because you're being told all the time that death is real by your society. The body was built to go on forever. It only starts shutting down after adolescence. The glands stop firing because of belief. That's how powerful the mind is. It does what you believe. The body follows the mind. Today is the 29th, and we'll see where the moon is today. The moon eye, the one eye of money. The mono eye of all monopolies, of all monotonies, of all monotheism, of all monarchy. Today, the 29th, right here, smack dab in the middle of the week, Wednesday, and you'll see it's the waning crescent of Christ, of the origin of our letter C, of the curve, of the crest, of the wave, of the chrism, the cream of the Father, of the oil of L, the Crisco. And the moon will be black, completely invisible on the 1st. And the new moon is on the 3rd of June, which is Jon, Ju-N. Jupiter in, Zeus within, God within, the light of the half and half, the H Aleph, Alpha and Omega, Alpha Beta, Alpha Zeta. So the sun passed over the equator here in the northern hemisphere on the circular serpentine ecliptic path of God's sun through the year, making an infinity sign in 3D. This is, of course, 2D, which is just up, down, left, and right, or north, south, east, and west. The third of the D, the third dimension, of course, is front and back, making the 360 of the 3 dimensions of the base 6 of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The sun goes right ascension every day and on the yearly path of the ecliptic as well. On the horizon of Horus rising, on the horizon, God's sun risen to save us from the winter and the night every day. And right now the sun is in the northern hemisphere, gradually arising to the peak of the journey, the crest of the wave of Christ, the crab of the sign of Cancer at the Tropic of Cancer for the summer summit, the solstice of the summer, the sun standing still, Ra, of all radiance, of all ratios, of all rays or beams, of Bethel, of the house of God, of this here kingdom of Christ, here, now, kingdom of heavens within you and all around you, within you, without you. This is God's kingdom. Believe it or not. Not hereafter. Not to be waited for. To be lived in this only time we have. This moment, this now. And Jesus says, I'll show you right here, Matthew 6:22, which the ministers and pastors are oblivious to generally. I don't know how many of them have ever even looked at this, because a lot of them have a translation that's false where they've changed this. But look, the light of the body is the eye. If therefore thine eye, he's not saying eyes, he's saying thine eye, single eye. If thine eye be single, thy whole body shall be full of light. The light of the body is the eye. Right there, Matthew 6:22. Thine eye be single, thy body is filled with light. And then Jacob says, Genesis or genetics or the gene of Isis, 32:30, Jacob or Jack, the character of nature, as in Jack in the green for the spring and summer, Jack O-lantern for the Scorpio, Halloween, O-lantern, and Jack Frost of the winter, autumn and winter, the fall. There is no historical fall of man, no literal serpent. Genesis is not historical, obviously. It's all allegorical metaphor. It's metaphorical. It's saying one thing to refer to something else beyond it. Just like all words are reference points, they're metaphorical, they're pointing past the word, they're signposts. You're not supposed to stand in front of the sign of the word, like the word God. Just stand there. God. Oh, look at it's the three letters. No, it's a sign for the transcendental, for that which is at the core and all within and all of this. The transcendental mystery. Beyond all categories of human thought. They're stuck with the metaphor, as Joseph Campbell says, dying for metaphors. Your God is your ultimate barrier. And let's go back to the White Book of Ramtha now. Figure A, I'm going to go through all this glossary stuff with you today. A little bit anyway. Figure A, the 7 seals, 7 levels of consciousness in the human body. Seven. The 7 seals of revelations. Revelations. R-E-V-E. Eve right in there after the R. Of Ra. Elations. L. Saturn. God. In Phoenician, the single God. L. Of the Bible. Of L. Of Kabbalah. Of the book. The biology book of the Logos Lord. Of the spine that binds. And the left and the right sides of your body. Its beginning, Genesis, genetics, and its end, Revelations, death when the book closes, when the big reveal happens. That you are not your body. Upon the cessation of the body, that indwelling essence that you actually are remains, and it's pure emotion. Pure thought. Figure A, the 7 seals, 7 levels of consciousness in the human body. Let's start from the first. First seal, which is pointing right to the genitals. First seal. This seal is associated with the reproductive organs, sexuality, survival, subconsciousness, and the Hertzian frequency band. Second seal. This seal is the energy center of social consciousness. Social consciousness. And the infrared frequency band. It is associated with pain and suffering and is located in the lower abdominal area. Third seal. This seal is the energy center of conscious awareness and the visible light frequency band. The visible light frequency band. It is associated with control, tyranny, victimization, and power. It is located in the region of the solar plexus, of the solar system. And you'll see the figure 8 pattern here, of course. Going up the S-pine. fourth seal. Did I just do the third seal now? This seal is the energy center of conscious awareness, and I just did that fourth seal. It is associated with, here's the fourth seal, which is pointing where? To the heart, which is an anagram with earth. It is associated with unconditional love, the bridge consciousness. Ultraviolet blue frequency, the thymus gland, and its anti-aging hormones. Fifth seal. This seal is associated with the thyroid gland, superconsciousness, X-ray frequency, and with speaking and living the truth without dualism. Unity. In the tarot of Taurus, the bull. Don't forget, all of the 12 houses of the zodiac are here. Pisces in the feet, Aquarius in the shins, Capricorn in the kneecaps, Sagittarius in the thighs, Scorpio in the genitals, Libra in the hips, Virgo in the navel, Leo in the solar plexus, Cancer in the sternum, Gemini in the arms and the lungs, which is where the sun is in now, up until the solstice of summer, the summit at Cancer. And then Gemini, the twins, in the arms and the lungs. And then Taurus in the throat. Taurus, the throat of Taurus, the bull of all languages, of all stories, of buildings, of erections. Erecting Solomon's temple. The temples of the soul of man. And then the high ram of Aries arrives at the top of the tree of the brain, of the cerebrum of Sarah and Abraham, the two hemispheres of the two sides, of the pair of L's, the parallel, the legs, L eggs, the parallel paradox, the pair. So then the fifth seal. Did we do that one already? Yes, we just did that. And then the sixth seal, this seal is associated with the pineal gland. Hyper-consciousness in the gamma ray frequency band. The reticular formation that filters and veils the knowingness of the subconscious mind is opened when this seal is activated. And then the seventh seal. This seal, the top of the tree, of the brain, of Ra, the light. This seal is associated with the crown of the head, corona. The pituitary gland, ultra consciousness, infinite unknown frequency, and the attainment of enlightenment. Then it has the figure B, the 7 levels of consciousness and energy, and the brain, the binary mind, living the image. So all those 7 seals in Genesis in the Bible, that's the 7 chakras of your body. In this whole book, Holy Bible, whole book, whole biology, biblio, of Babylon, of Babel, of papyrus, of the paper, of the pages, of the papal bulls, of the scribbling, of the scribes, of the scripture, of Taurus, the bull, is symbolic of your body. Right here, right now. Heaven is in the head, hell is the heel. Heaven is based on hell. The human soul, the infinite consciousness of unlimited awareness is based on the limitation, limited animal mind below. You must take the bull by the horns. So the bull is not driving you, you're driving it. And let's now read the last chapter or actually before the epilogue, which is called The Unique Significance of Ramtha's Teachings, we will read chapter 21, One Fine Morn. The White Book. Ramtha, as channeled by J.Z. Knight. My path in my life upon this plane was to become the unknown God, which I was to discover was myself, and to go beyond the dimensions to frolic in the adventures of forever. And so I did, and still do. Thank you, Lisa Saliva. Happy birthday, Kyle. She just sent me a text. Thank you. And so I did, and still do. I have returned to tell you that those adventures, tours, are awaiting you also, when you have embraced all of this life, as I did. These moments we have shared together have been sweet. To come into your life and touch perhaps even the edge of it is a grand pleasure, I assure you. All I have shared with you, I have done for myself, for each of you are what I am, the Father that I love fervently and always will. Whatever I do to add to the evolvement of your precious beings glorifies and magnifies the Father that is the kingdom I am. I have come as a brother to mankind, of which I was once a fervent part. I lived here as man and experienced all that you have experienced. I lived your despair and wept your sorrow. I dreamed your dreams and knew your joy. Though I have been to all levels, the most profound of all my experiences was when I was here in the midst of you as a man, God/man, experiencing the perils, the desperation, and the fleeting moments of glory that all of you have known. I have chosen to come back here because I understand you. And to understand you is to love you. I have come not to save you, for there is really nothing to save you from. I have come simply to remind you of the wonderful heritage you forgot long ago, and to tell you of a glorious future you are all soon to see. I have come to help you realize that you have greater options for your life's expression, and to help bring forth the knowledge that allows you to exercise those options, if it is your will to do so. All I have asked of you is to apply in your life, in your own time and in your own way, whatever understandings are fruitful for you in your own evolution into a more harmonious and joyful life. My path in my life upon this plane was to become the unknown God, which I was to discover was myself, and to go beyond the dimensions to frolic in the adventures of forever. And so I did and still do. I have returned to tell you that those adventures are awaiting you also when you have embraced all of life as I did. Go and live the understandings I have given you. Let them be within your being. When you do, you will soon realize that you have been given a greater treasure than you could ever have asked for or conceived of. Take what you have learned, what you have heard, what you have read, and apply it with simplicity. The simpler you are, the more powerful you become. And if you want something, ask for it. No one on this plane is empowered to give it to you. Ask from the Lord God of your being that the Father give it to you, and know that He has, regardless of what it is. And where do you go to ask? To the temple within. Simply ask within the silence of your own thoughts. It is always heard. I know who you are, and I know what you do and what you dream. When you think no one sees you, you must understand that you are like the stars in the heavens at midnight. You are there for all to see. All things know who you are and what you do, particularly those of us in the unseen. Who you are really matters only to you. When all is said and done, you have only you to depend upon, and that precious light within you called God Almighty. Be even with yourself. Be individual with yourself, and love what you are so that your light and how you are seen like the stars at midnight becomes very bright and very beautiful. I was called Ramtha, the Enlightened One, by my people, and so I have kept that name even unto this hour. An Enlightened One? I was a solitary entity who sat on a plateau while everyone else busied themselves with all of the things they do in their days. Yet in that wilderness, alienated from everyday life, I found the unknown God. The world is not in the marketplace, my beloved brothers. It seems there with life, it teems there with life indeed, but the greater life is to be found outside of the marketplace, at the base of a magnificent tree, or on top of a snowy mountain where the wind is crisp and cold and clean, or in the openness of the desert, or upon the endlessness of the sea. There is so much more to this your plane than most of you have allowed yourselves to see. You have yet to really live and investigate it. You have only been in the oppressive consciousness of your society with its judgments and petty ideals and its mad race against the illusion of time. You will not truly know life until you have become solitary in such places, at peace with the midnight sky and the moon that waxes and wanes until the brilliance of dawn. And through all the knowledge and dreams that come to you, behold, you too will become the Enlightened One, for priorities change there. The consciousness of the wilderness accepts you, beloved brothers. It accepts you and it expects you to be timeless like it is. In such circumstances, do you grow to become this God and to become steadfast in all the days of your life. The unknown God is silence, great silence, and yet it speaks to you if you allow it to do so. Reach out and be a part of this continent. Go to all of its places, be a part of them. Be cluttered with unfashionable simpleness, and go and experience God in this your heaven that you have created. I beseech you to do this. You will not truly have lived, nor will you come to understand this God that you are, until you have been to these places and been a part of their ongoing, forever consciousness. I desire from the totality of my being, from the Father that burns within me, that you know how valuable you are and the extent to which you are loved and needed. Whenever you think you have none who cares whether you live or die, know that I do. And whenever the preciousness of your being begins to falter and you feel you need a companion, call upon me, for I shall be there. I shall be with you, with all of you, throughout all the days of your lives on this plane, as your precious souls, pregnant with love and hope and joy, bloom into magnificence, into magnificent flowers of wisdom, compassion, and the love to embrace all life, seen and unseen. In the emotional storm of that blooming, there will be moments when you will wish you had never heard the name Ramtha, but far, far greater indeed will be the moments when God is seen, realized, and known within you. Now I have told you in every conceivable way, and over and over and over again, of the grandest truth you will ever know. You are God, and you are beginning to realize perhaps that that is indeed a truth. To know that steadfastly, beloved masters, can come only through the moment-to-moment unfoldment of your life. Namaste. Aloha. Hare Krishna. Hallelujah.